Right, well, hello everybody and welcome to the stream today, ladies and gentlemen. We have presenting you today the inaugural round of the GPU Formula 3 Asia Series. The Grand Prix United Series is back with these F3 cars. Today we are racing here at the Bahrain International Circuit using the 5.4 kilometer layout of the track that Formula 1 uses. Probably the best one that this track has to offer. We have 13 teams, 26 drivers raring to go in this 4-round, 8-race series. My name is James Smith, and joining me in the commentary box today, it's Rodrigo Carvalho. Hello, my friend.
Hello, James. Hello, everyone that's watching this broadcast. Very happy to be here to show this race for you guys today. And a very interesting race because it's the... Last season, I remember GPU used a different car, a F3 mode, but this one is a Petro's original mode from F Factor 2. A very interesting car. Interesting because I see how is the setup of this car, how it's made, and I feel very interested about that, James. And I'm very interested to see how you beat the championship this season because we have a lot of good drivers right here.
We do, yeah, and it's also quite a short championship. Only 4 race events, 2 races in each event. Of course, currently we are at the tail end of the 30-minute practice session that is held before the start of qualifying. Qualifying itself is 15 minutes long and dictates the starting order of the first race. The first race will be 65 kilometers long plus 1 laps around Bahrain. That's going to be about a 13 to 14 lap race, maybe 15 if they can push it. As we see a car spin out here, and there was another talking point, we'll get to that later. And then race 2, you take the top 10 from race 1's finishing order and you swap them around and reverse their roles. So if you were to finish race 1 in 9th position, you would start race 2 in 2nd position. However, if you finish outside the top 10, wherever you finish is your starting grid place for race 2. So if you end up in 12th place, you wouldn't start on pole, you'd start still in 12th. So it's quite an interesting format and a very high turnout today as well. So, and as you said, a lot of these drivers, very quick ones, very competitive as well. And only 2 drivers per team, so that means that there will hopefully be lots of drivers from lots of different teams all going for the same victory.
Yeah, now we're watching the onboard of Pescara car. We need to remember Pescara last year in the F3 championship was the champion, winning the championship by 218 points. And this year they have a good lineup again. They have very experienced drivers with Eros Masciulli and Stefano Cavacciucci, 2 Italian drivers. So we need to keep an eye on these guys on the championship. Also, for now, the fastest guy on the track is Tom Stevens from Team Fairlich. He made a 51.1. Very quick at the moment. He's a very good driver. I know him by other leagues. So it'll be very interesting. Have a lot of good names here. I see Tom Stevens, Fabian Ruth, Magalgi, Luis Felipe Capamagian. Have a lot of good names right here, James Smith. And also a thing about this track for the people that don't know. Turn 4 in Bahrain, this race specifically have a different thing from the briefing. They give the freedom for the people to make this corner more open. If you remember the things happen in real racing driving F1 this year in Bahrain. So in the turn 4 in this track we have more freedom to the cars made, and especially because this car do not have that downforce, so you'll be more important also. You can see that a lot of cars have I see most of the cars have a problem in the here in this track. The here looks like to lose the end easily. So
yeah,
I'm very curious to see how will be the race in general, because it looks like it's a car that is simple, but at the same time could be a bit twitchy to make a decent set.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been seeing even now, just since the last 5 minutes that we've been broadcast, we've seen multiple cars get in trouble. There's one right ahead of us, spinning out at the last corner. Bahrain it's quite a versatile track because there's lots of long straight where you build up an enormous amount of speed. And coming into turn one here, for example, it's very slow, taken normally in first gear, even by Formula One cars at times, if you really need to get that turn-in radius maximized. However, there are also, such as in the last sector, lots of very fast corners. So it's really got a track with a lot of everything, which is probably one of the reasons why it's so well liked amongst spectators and drivers alike. But yeah, as you said, we will probably see a lot of people get caught out by those traction zones and getting the power down, particularly on the first lap where there will be probably cold tyres. There are no mandatory pit stops in the races, by the way. Normally in a 15-lap race you wouldn't have one anyway, but still quite interesting, because if you get into an incident and you lose some of your bodywork, you're in a lot of trouble because you're making a pit stop when everyone else isn't. So everyone's got to keep that in mind on the first lap and try to stay as clean as possible.
Yeah, with a race with so short laps, and the qualify will be very important in a type of race like that. And also, we need to remember the we almost ending the practice. Still Stevens the quick, but Isaac Clark from Brawl Effects in Racing make a 51.2. Is coming near, but Stevens right now make the best sector 2 of the track. So he's still improving his lap. Very interesting. If I remember, Tom Stevens was the quickest guy on the preseason. So maybe we can put this guy one of the favorites to win the championship. Very interesting right now how Tom Stevens is making his season. And last season, I remember that Tom Stevens raced in the all season in 2020, and he had one win. That was in the final race in Spa-Francorchamps. He finished in 4th place last year with 7 and 6 points. And the guy that won the championship last year, for people that don't remember, was Manapol.
Yeah, and of course for Team Furlick we have Tom Stevens alongside his good friend Owen McGougy, and those guys are very evenly matched. They're both inside the top 4 in practice at the moment. But yeah, the practice session has got 5 seconds left in it, so it's about to end. So the guys will finish their lap, and then we will go to qualifying. And it should be very, very close if practice has been anything to go by. Also, the first event, everyone will be willing to get that pole position, but it's quite a long run down to the first corner, so maybe getting pole would be a bit of a curse, because you could get slipstreamed all the way down towards that first corner. But we'll have to wait and see for that. And indeed, yeah, everybody just finishing their laps up now, so qualifying will get underway. It's a 15-minute qualifying session here today for these drivers. You're not allowed, unlike most other leagues, to escape mid-session. I think that's a good rule as well, because it will make sure the drivers are actually more careful on their qualifying laps, knowing that if they stuff it in the wall, there's no escaping to the garage and getting away with it. You're done for the session, so hopefully that will help them in the race as well, being a bit cleaner on their laps.
Well, Sais, I think I hope they do not have any problems with the in the quali, especially because Bahrain is not that difficult track to have a big incident like that. But as I talked before, in short races like that, quali is a very, very important thing, especially with so short laps, and we see a car spun. If I remember, this car is from
Scuderia Freccianera.
Yeah, Scuderia Freccianera.
Which is Black Arrow in Italian.
Yeah, the Italian team. So, for now, Steven's still the quickest guy. He make a 51.0. The practice is already going to the end. Mashkuli improved his lap in the 6th place. I'm very curious to see how else Mashkuli will race in this championship, because I know him for a lot of years. He's a very experienced driver, a very, very good one, a top driver, and probably for my opinion, if he have the motivation, he can make a very 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 top season in GPU this year.
Yeah, of course, driving for Pascal, as you said, we're the reigning champ. But yeah, they're just waiting at the end of the pit lane. There's the green light, so we are officially underway for the season, and the 15-minute quali is go, and hopefully no one's going to wreck on their outlap. So you can see the Dutch cars, both of them right at the front of the queue of cars coming out of the pits, not trying to waste any time at all. And on a track like Bahrain, the lap times around the 1:51 to 1:54. So it's almost a 2-minute lap time. So even if we just round it up to 2 minutes just for simplicity's sake, then we only get 8 laps. And of course, there's things like tire wear and amount of fuel that you want. Because if you put too much fuel in the car, of course, you're going to be too heavy and not go fast enough. So we're looking at about is to get it absolutely spot on. We've already got a yellow flag in sector 1, so somebody has had a bit of a problem there. Rodrigo, if you want to do that, just run us through a lap of the track here.
Okay, fine. So for now, 30 minutes to end the quali is still on the start. People is still hitting the tires. You can see Tom Stevens on the screen hitting the tires, making that usual zigzag to start his lap. The driver from Team Fairlich, a team from Slovenia. So let's see how will be the fastest guy at the moment in the track. That's Tom Stevens. He starts his lap right now. We can see the onboard by Tom Stevens. Let's see how you make the first corner in the track. A heavy braking to the right side. Let's see. Very very nice apex by Tom Stevens. You can see how this car is different from it's not one of the fastest cars, but it's a very very fun car to drive. I can talk to you that. Let's see how Tom Stevens can make this lap right now. At the moment, very good. It looks like he did not lose any with the here. It looks like a very balanced car by Stevens. He makes the purple sector 1 in the track right now. He's still the fastest guy in the track. And it looks like the car does not need to brake, so he's very very balanced for the moment. I can tell you that just by watching. And a bit of oversteer, but still comfortable as we see it. Let's see how you'll be he's almost ending the sector 2 of this track. Let's see how Tom Stevens will be quick after this quali lap and this first try by him right now, the driver from the British driver from Team Fairlich. And still the quickest guy on the track, still the purple sector 2. Very interesting, a 49.0. So let's see now the last part of the track, 2 straight lines basically. Let's see if Tom Stevens can make the pole position and still with this pole position for some time in the track, because I believe some people will improve this lap with time because the rubber starts to increase and make the track be more easy to do it. And Stevens make a pole position, 50.8. Wow, not bad by Tom Stevens, 50.8. Purple sector 3 also purple lap, basically a perfect lap for now. So Stevens is the pole position. Kapamajan is the second at the moment, 4/10 of difference, and Magalgi, Stevens' teammate, is the third place. So this is the top 3 right now. 10 minutes to end the quali session, and sorry for we have some issues with James Smith microphone, but he will be back a few soon. For now, let's see other people making the quali right now. We have Luca Tiziano from Scuderia Frecanera. He make a 4/10 more slower than Steven on sector 1, but let's see the sector 2 by Luca Tiziano, Italian driver. By the way, nice livery by Scuderia Fricaneira, very green with black. I like that. Let's see. I think he lost a bit on the entry, but let's see how this will harm or not his lap right now in the end of the sector 2. Yeah, he lost a bit. He almost 1 second of difference compared to Steven's lap. But let's see what place this will give to Tizano in the quali right now. He will make the last corner of the track. I think he braked too much, but it's fine for now. And Tizano will cross the line in what place? Let's see what place he made it. And 52.6, 10th place for now for Tizano. By the way, Isaac Clark, a purple sector 2, and he crossed the line in 2nd place, a 51.0. Very interesting by Isaac Clark. Driver from Ground Effect Sim Racing Team. 1/10, just more slow than Tom Stevens, but a purple sector 2. So people starting to be more used with the track, with the rubber in the track, with the track temperatures. Stevens still is the pole position, and Justin Meister right now make a top 5. So now the top 10 is Stevens, Clark, McGaugy, Kapamajan, Fabian Root that make now a top 5. Justin Meister, Guillaume Brenton, Mashkuli, Krop, and Frelick. So this is the top 10 from the moment. From the P9 to the pole is less than 1 second, but this is just the start because it's still 8 minutes to end the quali session. So
I think I should be okay now. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, we can hear you 100%, James Smith.
All right, yeah, sorry for those issues. They're quite accustomed for me, but yeah, I should be all working now. So yeah, we see Tom Stevens, you were saying he was fast in practice and he's currently on pole position. Isaac Clark's improved in sector 2 though, but sector 1, but this sector 2 looked very out of shape coming through there, and indeed he is down on his previous lap. But is he blocking this Team Furlich car here, maybe? Is he trying to block the car behind him? Because I think he was weaving about a little bit through turn 13 there. This is Owen McGaugy in 3rd place, and look at his sector times. They're both slower. You can see the yellow indicating it's slower than his fastest lap. So was that, and they're both heading for the pits now. Was that tactical from Isaac Clark there, or were both of them pitting anyway? And his teammate pits as well here.
I don't believe in that, James. I think they just have the incident of making the quali too near to each other, and then that happened. So as we can see, the dirty air can be a bit of the problem for the qualify in this car, and they have the bad luck. This could happen in a qualify that have all the cars together. It's not a private one that everyone can make the quali alone. But this is also part of the strategy. You need to make your quali lap in the right moment, in the right time, to do not have any of these issues.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We're currently watching Alexander Robbie on his first, I think, proper attempt at a lap. Of course, it could have been that both those guys were simply already heading for the pits and having a bit of fun. And Robbie actually aborts this lap and comes back into the pits. So he's not going to be improving there. Here is your current pole position man by just over 1/10 of a second. Tom Stevens in the Team Furlich car on his out lap. So he's trying to get as much temperature into those tyres as possible. And as we thought, it's close. The top 9, as you said, all within a second. And Simon Frelick is not far off in 10th place. Hopefully can make that a top 10 all within a second. There was a bit of debris there, and you can see that's a Violet car. All these guys weaving around to get temperature into their tyres and probably harden the brakes in the braking zones to get some temperature into them as well.
Yeah, well, with the car with
yeah, a bit of a power slide through there. He held it very well.
Yeah, very nice control by Kuratko, but unfortunately, I think he lost a lot of time with that, and that's why all the drivers trying to hot his tires and brake so much, because this car with the cold tires can be very, very bad. As you can see, Aiden Rainey right now make another power slide. The guy from Pistinio Force Polonia, the Polish team. because it's not an easy car to make all the things balance. So that's why qualifying this car is not the most easy thing to do it, and we can see that
someone just off, yeah.
Oh,
he almost hits him there, Isaac Clark. That was very, very close as he's starting his lap, and that probably won't have helped him very much at all as he's trying to go for pole position here. He's got 5 minutes left, so even if he aborts this lap, he'll probably only make it back to the pits for around the 3-minute mark. He'll have 1 lap left to go for, because as soon as that clock hits 0, you can finish your lap times, but you can't start a new one.
But looks like he did not lose so much in the...
He's actually improved, yeah.
Yeah, he improved, so all will depends now if he not have any problem with the guys that is making also his quali lap in front of him.
Yeah, he's got a nice toe here as well from this Valicar. It will be a bit of dirty air in the corners, but it will give him a nice bit of slipstream because that Valicar is punching the hole in the air ahead of him. He can just follow in that clean air.
Yeah, we can see by Clark he have a very good balance on his car. I can see that by the onboard, and I think he improved his lap, but can he improve to make a pole position? This is the thing we want to know, and let's see if Clark can make that.
Yeah, let's see the middle sector. It's purple, yeah, it's purple. Into the 48s in the second sector. That is scarily fast here from the ground effect sim racing driver. He's got 1 more corner to go, and look at the slipstream he's getting from this Valicar. It's going to be making it go 4 or 5 kilometers an hour faster on the straight than anyone who doesn't have it. Locks up a little bit, but that was pretty tidy. And on the run up to the line, I think this is going to be a pole position lap here, or at least it's going to propel him into pole position for the time being. And across the line he goes, and actually he doesn't improve. He lost a lot of time in those last 2 corners. Lost half a second in those last 2 corners, and it's cost him pole. It's cost him pole for the time being. Justin Meister across the line does improve, but not his position. He was faster in sector 1 than all his previous laps, but not in sector 2 and 3, and that's cost him again. Here comes the 5th place man up to the line, probably not going to improve either because he has 2 yellow sectors. Here's someone who is improving at the moment, Stefano Cavasciuti in the Pescara car, and he's faster in sector 49.3, still 4/10 slower than what we saw Isaac Clark do. So that's what's theoretically possible for these drivers. So let's see, he's got 1 more corner to go, and this is a really tough corner because it's so much slower than all the corners before it, and it's difficult on the exit. It looks wider than it is, and you can see he's not using all the track on the outside there, more like that AFP was. Up to the line he comes. Where's he going to slot that Pescara car? It stays 12th. That's probably not what he was wanting here. Owen Magaji's purple in sector 1 here.
Yeah, but about Clark, we can see that he lost basically on the last corner in the track. He needed to make a heavy brake because of the dirty air that he have in the front, and that cost him the pole position, in my opinion. But he still have time. He still have one chance to do it, I believe, right now. So let's see if Clark will try to make another quali lap, and for now let's see if Magalgi, Tom Stevens' teammate, can make, because he make another.
Look at that, yeah. That's even faster than what Isaac Clark was. He's a bit wide of the apex through that corner there, but up towards turn, I think it's 15 or 16, the last corner on this track. Let's see what he can do. There's only 1 minute and 38 seconds left, so this will be his penultimate lap, even if his tyres can even make another lap. So it's all going to come down to this in the end. Where is Owen Magauji going to stick his Team Furlich car as he crosses the line and goes to pole position by the slimmest of margins, 68 thousandths of a second between him and his teammate, who is still out there on the circuit at the moment. It wasn't a very fast sector 3 again, so we're seeing a lot of people really being well in those first 2 sectors, but struggling in the 3rd sector, maybe with the added pressure knowing that you're going faster. But here is his teammate Tom Stevens right behind him, getting a nice little tow from his teammate here, who's probably going to move out of the way, and he does move out of the way, yeah, so that will have helped Tom Stevens down that straight.
Yeah, very, very nice job by Team Furlich right now. Let's see if But Tom Stevens, was a not bad sector 1. Could be better, but he still have the time to improve. And by the way, about Magalgi, a very, very top lap by Magalgi. We see that he lost a bit in the he have a bit of oversteer in the mid of the corner, and that make he lost a bit of...
Oh no, Tom Stevens has gone for a little slide there. That's not going to cost him pole. Surely that's not faster than taking that line normally, and it's going to heat his tyres up too much, surely.
Yeah, but yeah, he have the power as well, but the way he make the corner was not that slow. But so I have a big doubt now if he really lost or not. Let's see. Now that he's ending the sector 2, yeah, he still have chance. He still have chance.
Yeah, it's
He's very
fast.
near. He's very near.
He's very close to what his teammate was able to do, and he had a bad sector 3. So if he can just hook up this last sector, unlike his teammate, he could probably get that car in first place. Let's see, he's got one more corner to go here. It seems to have become a Team Furlich shootout, and it's Tom Stevens going for the pole here. His teammate is in the... Actually, no. Look at that. Felipe Camadagia has gone to pole position on 1 minute 50.792. What's Tom Stevens going to do? It's faster. It is faster. A 1 minute 50.745. Pole position for Tom Stevens as it stands. A few guys still on their laps, but that's a mega effort from him. And the Team Furlich cars are not going to be 1-2. They've been split down the middle out of nowhere. Felipe Camadagian has put that car in second place. He's only 47 thousandths of a second behind Tom Stevens as well. Must be gutted to miss out by that much. Few guys still on laps. Guillaume Breton is the only guy in the top 8 still on a flying lap. He's not improved in the first sector. I don't think this lap is really going to get him up the field. Yeah, 49.6 in sector 2. That's not ideal for him. I don't think he's going to improve on this lap. So it will be surely Tom Stevens on pole position here. Unless someone like Simon Frelick, who we're looking at now, can pull a miracle out of nothing. Gets a bit of a slipstream there from his teammate coming into the last corner. Might help him climb up the order yet, though. Gun Branton, actually, is that him spun on the right-hand side of the track? So he's not improved. What about Simon Frelick? Is he going to be able to improve on his 10th position as he comes across the line? He goes up to 9th, improves 1 position ahead of Mashuli. Tom Stevens, though, what a lap to take pole position. For the first qualifying session of the season goes to Team Furlich and Tom Stevens.
Yeah, that was a very nice lap, but I also a very interesting lap by Luis Felipe Capamagian, the driver from Peru, that is also driving for Ground Effect Team Race. So for now, we see at least after the start of this first round in championship that Team Furlich and Ground Effect is the top teams at the moment, because his 2 drivers is making the first and second row in the grid. That is very interesting. That and what a lap by Tom Stevens, because he was not the fastest in the sector 2 than Capamagian. He was also not more faster in the sector 3, to be honest. Was thanks to the sector 1 that he wins the slipstream by Bagalgi, because in the sector 1 his difference is more than 2/10 compared to Capamagian. So we can talk that the teamwork by Team Furlich in this qualify was crucial to give the pole position to Tom Stevens.
Yeah, that's a very good point, actually. Yeah, and also, just as we were running through the grid, I spotted all the way down from 1st to 8th place. One team occupies 1st and 3rd, then the other Ground Effect 2nd and 4th. Then there was the same team 5th and 7th, and then 860 Racing 6th and 8th, which is quite an uncanny pattern. But yeah, 2 teams really stamping their authority on qualifying, and that, of course, being Team Furlich and Ground Effect. And they've emerged as the guys to beat by the looks of it, but we'll see. With the 2 teammates right next to each other, it's going to be interesting which teammates can use each other better to leapfrog ahead of their rivals. But now we have a 10-minute warm-up session, so the drivers can go take a breather after that qualifying session, or they can try and go out on track and improve their lap times further. And for us, it's time for reflection, I guess. Or, we can go take a break if we want, but we can always talk more about that qualifying session. Alrighty, so apologies for the long wait. We had a few server problems. Our wonderful cameraman Christian McCasey had a problem with his game. But we are back now and we are on the formation lap. So the drivers have a chance to warm up their tyres, and any last thoughts for the race can be filtered through their heads before we get underway. But a quick run through the order. To refamiliarise myself with how qualifying went, it was Tom Stevens who lined his car up in pole position just ahead of Louis-Philippe Capamidjian, who shot up to second right at the end. Their two teammates trailed just behind them, with Owen McGaugy in third place and Isaac Clarke in fourth. Those two held the top two places in qualifying right until the last runs. This pattern of teams continues with the Meyer Died Racing Team cars in 5th and 7th place, Fabian Ruth and Moritz Kropp, and Guillaume Bratan leads his teammate Justin Meister for 8-6E Racing. Those guys line up 6th and 8th respectively. Simon Frelick is 9th for Royal Blue Racing, Eros Mashuli 10th for Pescara, with his teammate just 2 places behind him in 12th, split by the valet of Massi Riboli. 13th place went to Luca Tizzano in the Scuderia Freccia Anera, just ahead of Tyler Manning in 14th. Dejan Velas starts 15th with Sergio Fletcher, the first AFP, in 16th position. Remco de Zua in the other valley is 17th with Dama Karakko in 18th position. 19th is the second AFP of Adam Rainey, just ahead of the first Challenger Motorsport car of Andor Sepiani. 21st went to Rian Castro. 22nd, Kevin Vichers. 23rd is Nikos Anastasiopoulos. 24th, Josh Downward in the other Royal Blue Racing car, 15 places behind his teammate. And on the last row of the grid, we have Alexander Robbie and Tom Beckhauser. So, Ricardo, who do you think is going to come out on top in race 1?
Rodrigo.
Oh, sorry, Rodrigo. Yeah, I'm so sorry.
No worries. But by the way, one thing I want to know, as I always like to talk, one thing is quality, other thing is race. So we see that the ground effect and the team fragility was very good on the quali and almost a crash right now on the almost the start of the race. But by the way, very interesting to see how these two teams will deal in the race, especially with the start of the race. And very curious also about MDR, Male Downer Racing Team, because they did not make a bad quality. This team and also the other team that is the 8-6 that have Guillaume and Justin Meister.
Yeah, those guys starting 6th and 8th. Maybe a dark horse in this race, but there's only 4 constructors in the top 8 positions on the grid. So team play is going to be a huge factor if those guys, especially, as you said, the 8-6E Racing and the Meyer Downer guys want to move forward. But here come the lights. The start of the GPU season is almost upon us. The lights are out and we are underway here in Bahrain for race 1, and it looks like a clean start up front from our poleman Tom Stevens. It looks like his teammate McGaugy's moving around a little bit, trying to find a space to get past the ground effect cars down the inside of Tom Stevens, and they make a bit of contact, and McGaugy's going to get a bit of a switchback on these guys. It's going to be a 3-way fight up towards turn 4, and they make more contact, and McGaugy goes off the track as Stevens is on the outside, and these guys have that ground effect car in the middle. That's a great start. I think one of the 8-6E cars who's on the outside there and trying to sweep past these guys into the lead here. What a start that would be, but no, he gets run out a little bit wide. That's Roots coming from, I think, 5th on the grid up to 3rd, challenging for 3rd at least with Owen McGaugy, who forces his rival about outside and takes 3rd place back, but actually the top 3 holding their positions as it was. But Capamidjian really went for it into the first corner. They made contact more than once, him and Tom Stevens, and they somehow both got away with it on every occasion. Yellow flags flying spontaneously throughout the grid, so probably some problems further down the order at the front. Apart from that contact, all looked pretty clean. As we see the guys back, someone's into the wall there and losing the front wing, and that's going to be a long way back to the pits there. Who was that? That was Sepani, I think, losing the front wing. Back to the front as they come into the now really fast part of these next few corners. Before Sector 3, Tom Stevens still leads, but he's not going to be able to shake off Felipe Camacho too easily, I think, as they enter Sector 3 for the first time. Hectic stuff at the start there.
It was a very, very problematic start, especially from Isaac Clarke. We can see that the MDRs was very, very quick on the start with Fabian Ruth. And not bad start from Ruth and Justin Meister. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, massive tank slapper there.
And from Stevens, a very very difficult one with Kapamajan, but you can see that is batting for some places. And
Someone went off there in the background. They're sorry to cut you off, and I think the leaders might be going toe to toe here. And we can see loads of battles going on down the straight, and the leaders are toe to toe here. And round the outside of the first corner goes Felipe Camacho, who takes the lead of the Bahrain race 1 here, and he's weaving around trying to break that toe from Stevens, who might well go for it here into turn 4. Defends the inside line, does the ground effect car, and he gets hit up the back by Tom Stevens there, and his teammate won't be far behind him either. He might well be alongside him. But yeah, crucial stuff's happening at the front here.
Very, very dangerous now. We can see the breaking point for the turn 4. I believe Stevens believed that Kapamajan was to go into inside line to try to block the way, but he still preferred to go on the outside. And that was very dangerous because that cost a lose of a wing and something like that. And by the way, Elvis Mashkuli received a penalty. I don't know why the reason. Maybe maybe because of the start, maybe because of something in the track. I don't know what happened to him, but it's a pity that happened. He's in the 19th place right now. Looks like his race was not good on the start because he was in a very better position before. But even with the loss of the first place by Team Ferrari, they still okay. They still on the top 3, the both guys, and still the start of the race. Let's see how Kapamajan will make the things right now to avoid the problems of the 2 cars of the Team Ferrari. But a very 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 problematic start from now. And let's see. I think some things will happen right now, James.
Yeah, here we go. To the inside he goes. The top 8, by the way, already 7 seconds clear of the rest of the pack. And all of the teammates make contact there. The teammates make contact as Stevens was trying to go for a switchback on the lead car and actually turned into his teammate, who's still in 3rd place miraculously, but he's got Justin Meister right behind him, and that's caused a real bunch up of these guys. And this is anybody's best guess who's going to take which position. We're on board with Simon Frelick here in 7th place. As we can see, Root tried to go to the inside of Guillaume Branton there, and actually Meister has lost out on the exit of turn 4. Has he lost his front wing? I don't know, but I think he might well have lost his front wing there, and he has. Justin Meister was running in the potential for a 3rd place, and he's come together with Omar Gauji coming into turn 4. Speaking of coming together, here's another one between Simon Frelick and that's Root in the, I think that's the ground effect. No, sorry, it's Clark in the ground effect car. Isaac Clark, who gets the position on him, and you can see Meister locking up behind, just has no downforce about that front wing, and he's going to have to come to the pits and repair it. That's his race. All but over, and more contact here as Fletcher gets hit into, I think that's by Mashuli as well, and the guys behind have to be careful not to check up and hit them. The AFP is back on its way faster than the Pescara was. Back towards the front, we can see here, here is Root. Here he is in 5th place. He's got Guillaume Branton up ahead of him, and Omar Gauji just ahead of him. But the top 2 now, that little incident at turn 1 has meant that the top 2 have broken away, as Magauji really redefining track limits there by running very wide at the penultimate corner. But yeah, I would say that was more Stevens' fault. But what do you think? I think he just turned into his teammate.
Difficult to talk that because he focusing try to overtake Kapamajan. So it's a bit also of lack of communication by both, you know. Because Magalgi tried to make the corner, and by the way, a move for a place. Let's see if it happen or not. And nice defense by Guillaume. Nice defense by Guillaume Branton against Fabian Root, German driver. But by the way, about that incident, it's difficult to talk because maybe Owen could try to make the corner with more attention, you know. But in the end, he have the luck to do not have anything broken in his car, but unfortunately to Justin Meister, that was a end of the good scoring points. But because of that, looks like Stevens also starts to not have the same progression as before, because the difference by him and Kapamajan is more than 1 second right now. So looks like Kapamajan starts to really feels better the car, and Stevens start to have some problems. Maybe the contact that Stevens had in the start of the race, and maybe the contact he had with his teammate Magaldi, make his car have some damages that can cost him a chance to win today.
Yeah, and we can see, if we just cut away from the front guys as we have now, you can see how close it is. This is for kind of like the fringes of the points, and the two valleys are right toe-to-toe here. Hopefully no contact between these guys as Riboli goes down the inside of his teammate. Got to give each other plenty of space. You don't want both of these guys to go out at once. They're still side by side coming up the hill. Now remember, top 10 scores points. So at the moment, these guys are fighting with nothing but track position, but Riboli gets it done in the end. Nice move on his teammate, who's now under pressure from the centre behind and wide again. We've seen so many cars running wide at that penultimate corner, either gain an advantage maybe, or just because they don't have grip and they cannot get that car turned in to the corner in the way that they would want. And look at this here, that's smoke coming out of the back of one of the cars. I think that's Fabian Ruiz who's got smoke out the back of his car. Hopefully his engine doesn't blow. He's trying to go around the outside of Guyan Branton here, and they make a bit of contact on the exit, and he's not quite able to get that move done. It's difficult to pass on the outside for these cars. It was quite miraculous that Capamagin was able to, and you can see here Ruti struggling to defend from Isaac Clark behind. He goes to the inside. He has to leave him the space, but he holds on well around the outside there, holds 5th position quite impressively. And Clark has to watch his mirrors because Simon Frelick will be wanting to take advantage of these guys, especially if they make contact. He's getting a bit opportunistic though, trying to go faster through there to find an inside line. Might go for it again into turn 8, but backs out of it. Good racing between these guys.
I hope Fabian Ruth not have any big issues with his engine, but it looks like someone forgets to see the blanking of the radiator, as it seems. But it's a bit critical this happened right now because Bahrain is a hot track. The temperature right here is more than 30 degrees in the ambient. Is 31 ambient.
Oh, someone's spinning. Someone is spinning in the infield there. Sorry, who was that going for a spin? I think that might have been Krop, for the Maya Downer team. And he was one who qualified in the top 7. And he is way down the order now, 19th, surely not going to get any points. And here's his teammate actually in 5th position right now, still stuck behind Guillaume Branton. And you can see the gap between Stevens and Magaldi is just opening up. So those two are going for the win, and Magaldi might have some damage, and he's not really pulling away from these guys despite their battling. So this is really the battle for 3rd place, I would think. Here's a side-by-side move. This is Cavaciuti trying to overtake Dame Caracco, or maybe the other way around. Caracco holds it into the last corner, but Cavaciuti will try and get the slipstream. And look at this, we've seen it so many times. One car pulls to the right, everybody pulls to the right to try and steal that slipstream, as Cavaciuti is trying to do right now, to try and take 14th place and move himself one spot closer to potential points. They're still side by side into turn 1. Caracco with the inside line, which you've seen has worked for so many other drivers, and it's going to stay that way. He holds the position, and Cavaciuti has to be careful because right behind him is that Freccianera of Tisano.
We can see how exciting is championships with Formula cars so small like that, because since the car is more smaller, the dirty area is not that big, and that makes more easy to the cars having battles in such corners that we cannot see in championships more bigger, like Formula 1, for example. And this is the example right here that we see it. But I still see some cars have some smoke from coming from the engine. I see also a valley that we can see on the broadcast having the same problem.
He's trying to go around the outside here. That was opportunistic, but we saw it as well with the Maya Downer car in 5th place as well. Hopefully they know it's coming out the back of the car and they are controlling it, because smoke doesn't necessarily mean terminal with these engines. It just means it's quite hot and you might want to stop pushing it so hard. This is actually the battle for the last championship point on offer in this race. For 10th place, it's currently held by Adam Rainey's Abstaneo Force Polonia car, as they cut the sector 2 split, and Riboli almost hits the back there of Vela. And you just have to be careful when you're following another car so closely, because these cars can follow much closer than much faster ones, such as in Formula 1, as you said, where it's much more difficult to follow someone due to the dirty air. But here, it's not as difficult, and you can see it's also causing problems as Vela's missed his braking point, goes off, tried to avoid Adam Rainey and succeeded, but that's going to cost him a place to Riboli, and maybe another one here. As Cavaciuti, who's already got past Caracco, he got past Dizua, and now he's going for a move on Vela and overtakes him. So in one lap, Cavaciuti has moved up 3 places into 12th. But it's going to be 3 wide here because Dezua's got the inside line, and in the middle is Vela. I think it's going to be squeezed out here, and he does break a bit earlier. Dezua kind of hits into Cavaciuti there, and that might give Vela all the initiative he would need to try and steal back these positions. Justin Meister, by the way, is putting in a spirited effort to try and claw back as much time as he can by going purple and setting the fastest time of the race. The Vela runs a bit wide. Vela's going to get that inside line, but does he have the track position? No. He's going to stay in 14th place.
Yeah, but we see that Vela lost the breaking point because of the slipstream. He forgot to brake more earlier, but we see
that takes 10th.
Yeah, Riboli takes 10, and Riboli, by the way, he was very smart because he did not follow the slipstream. He preferred to wait to just follow the slipstream in the big straight line. That was more important. So that was the reason that we see Riboli right now in the top 10. But I'm still very, very afraid. I hope it does not happen that Riboli have a blow engine because he have a lot of smoke, and I believe at least the driver behind how bad could be this smoke. You see this smoke coming to your face all the time.
Yeah, it must be quite distracting. Yeah,
probably is a thing that distracts a lot. And by the way, Aidan Rainey almost lost the car right now. Very nice control by him. But Cavaciuti is following very well. Let's see if he a mover.
He's hit him. Yeah, and that's going to affect both of them massively. And Rainey's clearly struggling to put the power down. And they've both lost a lot of time. I think Rainey's actually gone off into the barriers on the left-hand side. He has. So Adam Rainey, yeah, he's out. Adam Rainey's out of the race. And here's the battle now for 11th place as Riboli has taken this opportunity to disappear, and his teammate has taken this opportunity to move up into 11th place, but he locks up. He locks up big time. He's actually got a car on his inside. That's Vela trying to retake these positions he lost a few laps ago. Gets back past Cavaciuti and has a chance now to get past the other Valley. Let's see. Down the inside he goes. Is he going to be able to pull it off? No, he's sensible on the brakes. It's quite difficult to go for a move there. But he's run wide. He's run very wide, and there goes the position he just gained back. And that's going to hurt.
Yeah, it was a bad calculation by Cavaciuti, but it's very interesting. We see Cavaciuti makes a mistake, and that make he lost basically 2 places because the grid is so, because of the difference of the cars is not that much, and the cars are more smaller. So a mistake can cost you a lot in the race. But you can see that Cavaciuti, every time he or Vela make a mistake in the apex, they basically lost a place in a corner. So it's not the easy deal for these guys. And by the way, Riboli is flying the track and have a good chance to overtake many also.
Yeah. Riboli is absolutely flying. Clearly didn't have a good start. We caught him a few laps ago in 14th or 15th place, but he's catapulted himself. He had to close 5 or so seconds to get up here where he is now. That's remarkable. In 2 laps, he's closed 5 seconds and overtaken cars. And you can see he's just backing off a little bit and waiting now for the main straight, because he doesn't want to catch the car too early. Because as soon as he pulls out the slipstream, he's gonna be punching his own hole in the air and going to be going slower as a result. And also, his engine will be getting hotter the more he's behind these guys. And I think he's wary of that, because he's not really slipstreaming, manning down towards the first corner, unlike what we see here. Vela is on Cavaciuti. Let's see, is he brave enough into the first corner? He is. He goes for it, catches his rival unawares, who tries to close the door on him and holds the place just about. That was very marginal. I don't know if Cavaciuti was really allowed to close the door so aggressively as he did, but I guess it's hard, close, fair racing that we want to see, and it will no doubt have frustrated Dejan Vela from the Maltese driver. I think the only Maltese driver on the grid in that GT Omega RPM esports car.
Yeah, it's a very, very aggressive dive bomb by Vela, but Cavaciuti make a decent defense, but was fair. But talking about remarkable, I think that we do not notice, and I noticed a lap before, Josh Downer in 8th place, the reserve driver that's racing today, replacing a driver from the Royal Blue. That is the I forget the name. Patrick Rozak, sorry.
Yeah, we have a move. Sorry to cut you off here. We've got a move for 11th place. And Kawachuti finds the inside line for turn 12 and takes over 11th place. He's going to be able to hold it, though. But yeah, back to what you were saying. I think, yeah, he started really far down the order, didn't he? Like, I think it was 23rd. Oh, was that the valet out of control? And sliding as he came into the corner, it was. And he's lost out a place now to Dejan Vela. And he has got to be careful not to lose out on more. You could see him in the background there. Just getting it wrong in the breakers up. Yeah, back to Downard. Yeah, he's doing a fantastic job. He's climbed up so many places on the grid, as you were saying.
Yeah, basically, as I know by Downard, he is a smart boy. He will not try to make aggressive moves. He just try to make his race and make the people making the not smart decisions. We can talk, and that's making he make it now a lot of points. And as we can see, Crappie want a good battle, and he have a good battle right now against Kuratko. But
yeah, he didn't seem he seemed reluctant to take the racing line that he should have done. He just thought that Kuratko was going to disappear on the apex. They just turned right into it. Oh no! Contact between the AFP and Cropper. They both go a bit sideways. They stay on the track. Quite fortunately, I think they hit into each other again once they got into the slide, and that kind of corrected it. But that won't really do their tyres any good. They got very lucky there. But yeah, Karako's loving defending that inside line. He seems to be quite difficult to pass. He's doing a good job.
Yeah, now I think Flasher could be more calm. He was too aggressive. He was not to make that move happen, even if he do not hit Crop. But that also put him in a problem because now Tizano is near to him because of that. But about the race also, Kapamajan is dominating the race. So that shows also that the quality by the Team Ferret was not complete enough to break down the domination by the ground affecting racing for Kapamajan at least, because Clark still have a problems to in the race. He lost a lot of positions. He's in the 7th place right now, is 1 second behind of Simon Frelich. And by the way,
yeah.
But and Fabian Ruth against Guillaume.
Yeah. Great move by Fabian Ruth to finally get that 4th place that Branton's held for the entirety of this race. Don't think he's going to give it up too easily, though.
Yeah, but I don't believe Guillaume will give up easy if he have the chance. So all will depends now of how good is the tires by Fabian Ruth to continue. And he still have some laps to go. He still have some time. So maybe he can continue with this.
And Ruth has really messed up his braking point there. He'll lose a little bit of time, missed the apex. And I think it's good he's got ahead of him for him because his engine's smoking. So you don't really want to be sitting in behind another car because your engine's going to start overheating. Now he's got clean air ahead of him. So I think Guillaume Branton really needs to go for it soon before that engine becomes optimally operating again.
Yeah, but after 13 laps, I believe the engine will be fine because it still do not have any issues, and it's a very hot place right here in Bahrain, as you can see. So, and by the way, Crop against Sergio Fletcher, and Crop is to be on the top 10. Pity had some issues on the race today, but we can see that he's trying to claim the positions the best possible to have a good race too. But Fletcher, but a very, very good line in the inside, so very, very nice move by the guy from APF.
Yeah, good move from Sergio Fletcher, but he's going to probably be vulnerable again as they come onto the last sector. There's the long straight up ahead. These guys will start their second to last penultimate lap, which Felipe Capamagin is already on, and it's only 6/10 to Tom Stevens. So I think has Stevens left his best till last for the last 2 laps to try and retake that lead that the Peruvian has held since the start of lap 2. Further forward, Riboli's finally going for 9th place here, and he's going to do it with a very, as always, calculated overtake. Through he goes into 9th. His engine immediately starts to smoke again. But I don't think he'll care too much as long as it makes it to the end of the race, which it should do now, That's another nice move into ninth place for Massimiliano Riboli. And maybe you think he's going to get Josh Downward here for 8th position or not?
Yeah, he have a very good chance. He's more quicker than Josh all the time in the race, but let's see how he will make that, because we know. Oh my goodness! Almost that Manning was very aggressive and almost lose the position because of that. And by the way, but we need to see how Riboli will try to make that, because we know that we can overtake this car in a lot of type of corners because of it's not a very big car, so you can try a more risky move there or there. But if Riboli will try that, what part he will really try? So that's the thing right now.
Yeah, let's see. There's half a second as they enter Sector 3, which is the heaven of straights, as Felipe Capamagin has started his final lap of Race 1 here in the inaugural race in the GPU Formula 3 Asia Series at the Bahrain International Circuit in the Gulf. So let's see. Riboli closing all the time. He's at a very good distance because he's going to catch him with a lot of overspeed, so that when he pulls out, it will carry over and surely propel him ahead of the Royal Blue Racing car here as they start their final lap. Tyler Manning is under pressure by Cavaciuti, by the way, for the final points position, and we can see it from Cavaciuti's point of view. But Manning has a good little slipstream from the car up ahead, not as good as Cavaciuti's, and you can see there is the defensive move from Josh Downward. Riboli is forced to the outside line as Cavaciuti goes for an 10th place. They're going to make contact there, those two behind. Riboli, though, is looking to still get that undercut on Josh Downward as Manning has lost out to the 10th position right at the end here. Downward is right to the right-hand side of the track. He's not giving Riboli that inside line. He's forced him to the outside. Can Riboli do anything from that kind of position? He's looking for the switchback, but he lost it on the exit there because you see the car was sliding around. I don't know if he's clear enough ahead that Downward has to acknowledge that he is on the inside and has to take a compromised line, and indeed that was the case. So Downward's hold 8th, and Riboli really only has 2 more overtaking opportunities. One of them is at the end of the straight that they're approaching, not this next corner. An overtake into here is audacious as it gets, because it's such a difficult corner. You're turning and braking at the same time, really easy to lock up in any car. And Riboli might well fancy his chances. Let's see. This is his last overtaking opportunity, I would think. Into turn 11, and he backs out of it. I think at the front, though, Luis Felipe Capamagin, I think, is going up towards the line. He's led since the second lap of the race, and he wins race 1 here in Bahrain after a dominant display since taking the lead. Tom Stevens follows him home in second, and it's a Team Furlich 2-3 double podium as Omar Gouger comes home third. Massi Riboli has got one more chance here to take 8th place, as does Tyler Manning to take 10th for points. Downward defense to the inside line. Was that a mistake as Riboli's got the power down on the outside? But it's good defending from Josh Downward, and I think the run to the line will be too short for Riboli here. So Royal Blue Racing score 6th and 8th positions. A brilliant improvement from their qualifying as Downward just beats the Valley home to 8th place. And rounding out the points is Cavaciuti in the end. Here's the battle for 18th right at the back of the field. This one's also going down to the wire. So what I love about this race, there's just been battles all up and down the order, no matter the position. And Rienk Orchestra ends up behind the Excenser of Dame Caracco there. But a thoroughly entertaining first race. And now it'll be even more interesting because that top 10 is going to get switched around. So it will be Cavaciuti who takes pole position. That move not only got him 1 championship point, it's also got him a pole position for the next race, and this is nice. The 2 Team Furliches driving home in formation back to the pits. Yeah, here is your top 10. So it was Luis Felipe Capamagin, the Peruvian, who drove superbly to win, from Tom Stevens in second place, who never really got within a second to try and challenge and retake his lead back. Owen Magauji was third. Fabian Rutt drove really well to recover up to 4th place with an overtake on Guyan Branton with a few laps to go, and Guyan was not able to get that position back. Simon Frelich 6th. Isaac Clark dropped down to 7th from 4th on the grid. I think he'll be a bit disappointed with that, but he starts higher up in race 2 to make amends for that. Josh Downward 8th place for Royal Blue, 9th Massi Riboli, and rounding out the top 10 with Stefano Cavaciuti. But what a race that was!
Yeah, and by the way, about Downer, was a masterclass by defense by Downer, because he was not quicker than Riboli, but he defend correctly and precede the place against Riboli and do not give to Riboli any chance to pick his position was very, very well done by Josh Downer. And this race 2 will be very interesting because of the now Cavaciucci will be on the pole position. I really want to see how the Kapamajan, Stevens, Magaldi, these guys that were more quicker on the start of this race 1 that will deal the positions against the guys in the front. And this could happen a lot of new things to us, and maybe the race could be not very good for some people, as we can talk, James. But I'm very, very curious to see how Kapamajan Stevens, that was very, very quick on the first race, could deal with the positions in the race 2, because race 2 sometimes is not about be quicker, it's about know how to deal better the position against the guy in front of you.
Yeah, absolutely. And now we switch to a small little warm-up session again as the grid for race 2 is sorted. Just the top 10 that needs to be reversed. Everyone who finished below that is going to start in 11th place. And I don't know if this warm-up is going to be full length or if we're going to go early, because all the drivers should still be here. But yeah, it seems that it's still the Team Furlick, which is up front with the ground effects to beat on raw pace. But Isaac Clark really fell off in that race. He fell down to 7th and never looked like he was going to actually get back in front of those guys he lost positions to.
Yeah, he was not have the best start, and looks like he have some most of the race he was betting against Simon Furlick. That is also a very good driver, a Polish driver from Royal Blue. But now he have a good chance to make a difference in the race 2, because he was starting in a better place, and all the top guys we can talk is starting behind him. So let's see if he do not have a bad start again, he can really have a good chance to maybe win this race. But not just him, maybe the other guys also. All will depends on how will be the start of this race 2, and how the I hope. By the way, I hope they be very respectful in the race 2. Do not try any too many aggressive, because we know that race 2 people try to be more aggressive because it's the last race, is last chance to make points, and it's just top 10 in this championship. So of course, especially people from near to Luis Felipe Capamagian will try to be very, very aggressive because they know they are very near to the points. But people also need to remember the first lap of the race could be also the last lap if you do not act with calm and patience sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. And another one to watch, I think, if he even does race 2, will be Justin Meister, because of course he lost his front wing right to the back of the order, which is where he's going to start. I think he's starting 23rd, I believe, on the grid, judging by the position in which he DNF'd. So yeah, he'll be one to watch if he can survive the start, because it's possible to get points for him, that's for sure. Points are reduced, by the way, for the second race. I still believe it's top 10 with points, but now, for example, instead of getting 25 points for a win, you only get 15, so everything's really been toned down for race 2, the reverse grid one. So race 1's the one to make it count, but race 2 can still be pivotal, and will be pivotal, because if you only perform in race 1, and get zeros in race 2 all the time, it's only going to hurt you. It will never benefit you. So those guys who just came in, like the top 3, for example, it will be intriguing to see how quickly they can get themselves back up to the front, if they can even get back up to the front before everyone else pulls away.
Well, points are points all the time, so I believe they know that they need to make the less mistakes possible to do not be harmed by that in the end of the championship, with losing something by 1, 2, 3 points, But not about Meister, not just Meister, but also Elos Mascoulis that have not a good race 1. He will start from the back also. Let's see how Mascouli will act, because his teammate Cavaciucci will start from the pole position, and Pescara, as we already talked, is a team that was the champion last year in the GPU last year. So of course, was not the same lineup. The team is still the same, so we can talk that. And also, usually in the leagues, general Pescara is a very top team. So when you see Pescara driving in the championship, you believe that Pescara will race for be very very strong, So interesting how Masculi also in this race too will handle after the bad race he had in the race one. But very very interesting how Capamaggi in this round have a very very good team. So I'm very very curious to see how he will handle the in this race too, because against he shows a very aggressive guy against Tom Stevens when he tried to make the moves. But now he will but he just needs to make that against Stevens basically in the race one. Now he will need to deal with more people in front of him, and depending the way he can make that cost him points. So I'm very very curious to see how people will handle that, especially the top guys, Capamaggi and Stevens. But for now, you can talk that a top race by Capamaggi for the championship, but for the teams championship, Team Ferrucci is making a very good job by now for the P2, P3.
Yeah, as well, we saw Capamaggi was with that amazing overtake on Tom Stevens, so we know that he can overtake. The others, we didn't really see it too much from the guys at the Team Furniture. I'm not saying that they can't. I'm sure they are more than capable of doing it. But it's all about who can make them count when they need to. Who can make it at the most efficient point and lose the least amount of time. It's all about timing and carving your way through the field, and also, of course, staying out of trouble. And as for the spins, we didn't see too many spins, but we saw a lot of rears getting loose, whether it was axle under braking or on the exits of the corners. We did see a lot of that. We can see it right now as I'm saying it, as we're watching. I think this is a Pescara car on a lap, just practicing as the warm-up is coming to a close, and we'll be underway for race 2 in about 4 minutes' time. And yes, this is Eros Masciuli. He'll be starting at the back of the field, having retired early on. He got a penalty as well and saw no point in continuing, so DNF'd, and will be starting near the back of the field, just like Justin Meister. So here's another one who'll be trying to carve his way back through the field.
Yeah, as I talked before, I'm very very curious to see how Masculi will handle this race one, because as we see, it's possible to make points even start from the back. Josh Downer is the example to us guys, because he started from the back and make a very very nice top 10, and now Downer can pick the good things from the race 1 by now, because he's starting a very top position in the race 2. He's starting in the top 3 if I remember, and he have a very good chance to score a lot of points to Royal Blue, and that's the important thing. And the good thing is that the engine do not blow up. So we see that some people have some smoking coming from the engine, probably because of the blanking of the radiator was too high. Why they make that? Probably to have a bit of more power in the axis of the corners, probably. So to making the moves happen. So that's also explains why Riboli was so quick when he picked the slipstream by the people, But in the end, this do not be, at least for a 13 race lap, was not a huge problem, because I think that I hate to see all the time is engine blow up.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, we didn't see any engines blow up. In theory, it is possible for them to blow up if you rev up too much, or if your radiator, you made a mistake in the setup with it. It's entirely possible that it blows. The same with tyres. Tyres also have wear, which we have to take into account, which is why we didn't really see many of the fastest laps being set in the later stages of the race, because they'd already been used past their best optimal operating window, and had been worn from all those laps and corners of racing. But yeah, we're in the last few seconds of the warm-up, and we will very shortly be underway for race 2 of round 1 at Bahrain. And it was Luis Felipe Capamagen who won race 1, starting second on the grid. So still, well, I mean, it's been one race, but we can so far say that pole position has not won a race yet. We'll see. We have another attempt at that with I forget who is it who finished in 10th place. Cavaciuti, I think it was, who finished 10th.
Yeah,
got it on the last lap. Yeah, got it on the last lap from Tyler Hanning. And yeah, 20 seconds left. We can just see on board. This is a difficult corner on the track, and there you go. It's because it's braking and turning at the same time, and it's always bad because that's how you lock your brakes up.
And as a turning that in the race 1, we see a lot of moves happen, especially because of when some people try to make a move and make a bad apex in the X of the corner, right, like this right now, and then some moves happen. A brake corner, a difficult corner because you need to brake quickly and you can lock the brakes easily, and maybe depending the way is the balance of the car, the here called easy slips and making things like that, as you can see right now. But from all the cars I see in the grid, at least all the cars in the top 10, I see a very good balance about that, about this difference about weight and power of the cars. So I believe the people that's racing today is making a very good job for studying very well this car to make a decent setup to the championship according to what they like or not in a Formula car.
Yeah. Warm-up has now finished the session. The clock has hit 0, so the lads just have to finish their laps, and then we will be underway for race 2. Of course, the top 10 has been reversed. The distance in race 2 will also be 13 laps, if I'm not mistaken. It'll be identical distance to race 1. The only difference, of course, is that reversal of the top 10. And we'll run you through the order once the formation lap begins. And, of course, our predictions and all of that fancy stuff. But race 1 was very entertaining, a lot of battles all the way up and down the field, and that was on raw pace. Now we have a lot of faster guys near the back of the field, whether because they DNF'd or because of the reverse grid. And, I mean, Bahrain, it's quite a long run up to the first corner. It's a really hard braking zone, so there's bound to be incidents, and maybe some of those top guys will get crashed out or receive damage of some sorts that means they can't compete at the front. So it's really a chance for those who might not be the fastest but have the best racecraft and surviving all the mayhem to take over. And that is the end of warm-up. Now we have switched to the race session, and all the guys back in their garages will go to the grid. So we can run you through the order in a moment's time. Of course, this is the Bahrain International Circuit. We are at the track temperature 29 degrees Celsius, somehow lower than the air temperature. R-factor 2, please fix. But yeah, sunny skies above us here in the desert, as you would expect in a country like Bahrain, and we're just waiting for the guys to get to the grid. They will get that red light, that one red light that's on will disappear, and we will be underway for the formation lap. The time for the drivers to warm their tyres and brakes up ready for the start. And of course, if you're running at the front, it's much more pivotal you do that because you'll be sitting on the grid for a lot longer. And how much really do your tyres and brakes cool down sitting on the grid?
No question. But
Well, I mean, I have no idea.
From what I see from the race 1, I think the tires will not be a problem. But let's start this race 2. Let's see how it will be. Very exciting to see how people will deal these positions on the start, especially the guys that's winning the race 1.
Yeah, so here's a look at the order again. It's Stefano Cavaciuti starting on pole position for Pescara, just ahead of a fellow Italian Massimiliano Riboli for Vale Esports after a spirited drive through the field. 5th place, Simon Frelick. He is probably one of the favourites to take the win today. Just looking back, Josh Down with his 3rd. Isaac Clark as well, another favourite, because he qualified 4th and starts race 2 fourth, having finished down in 7th place, never really recovering from a poor start. Simon Frelick is one of my favourites to take a good result here today, as is Guyon Branton starting in 6th place. Fabian Rutz is starting 7th with Owen McGaugy, the first Team Furlich car, in 8th place. The team with a double podium in race 1, thanks to Tom Stevens as well, finishing in 2nd. He starts 9th, and Luis Felipe Capamagen, race leader for 12 of the 13 laps last time out in race 1 and eventual race winner, starting in 10th and rounding off the top 10 where points will be scored. Remco de Zouer is 13th for Valley Esports, Sergio Fletcher 14th for AFP. Those two, of course, good old rivals. 17th and 18th are two Excensa cars on row number 9 together. 19th is Riek Hokestra, 20th Tom Beckhauser, and the last classified finisher of race 1, Sandor Cispani, starts in 21st place. Now, all the guys who DNF'd in the order that they did so: Kevin Veach's 22nd, Justin Meister is one to watch in 23rd, Adam Rainey's 25th, just alongside the last car on the grid. And while one Pescara is on pole position, the other one of Eros Mashuli is starting in 26th. So, Rodrigo, favourites to win?
Tall question, because all will depend on how the start. I believe if the start be clean and no problems, maybe Clark have a good chance to win, I believe. But depending what happened, I believe that Capamagen, even start from the top 10, have a good chance, because he was very quick on the race 1. He have a very good car, he and Tom Stevens. So and looks like they have a better car for the race. All will depend on how it will be right now. This start can change completely the entire race. This race 2.
Yeah, it can make or break the race. The man we're watching right now, Massi Riboli, I think, he showed blistering pace to carve through the field. So I think definitely will finish in the top 5. Can he win the race? If he gets a good start and pulls away, maybe before some of the standouts like Capamagen or the two Team Furlich cars make their way through the grid and back towards the front, if they can even make it that far, because incidents might befall them. We'll never know until it happens, and it's almost there. The last few cars lining up on the grid. Justin Meister as well, one to watch from the very back of the grid. Let's see how far he can get up in that 8.6 E-Racing car. Of course, lost his front wing while battling for a podium. That AFP and the Pescara almost locked in. We see a bit of reversing there back into his grid slot, but I think he is in there now. So all 26 cars are lined up on the grid. If race 1 was anything to go by, race 2 is going to be even better. And we're just waiting for those 5 big red lights to start to illuminate the countdown for the drivers. And here they come now. 3, 4, 5 red lights ahead of the drivers for race 2 in Bahrain. Lights out and away we go, and it looks like a very good start from the man on pole position, who's not even going to be able to be challenged by Massi Riboli, who tucks into the slipstream, goes defensive now to the inside. Does the pole man. Riboli's under pressure. Is that Simon Frelick or Josh Downward going down the inside? Either way, the two Royal Blues have both made really good starts, up to 3rd and 4th for those two guys. Everyone in the top 10 seems to be sailing the first corner. Oh no, someone's sailing off wide, and it's chaos behind. Cars all over the place on the grass and wide at turn 2. So I think it was McGaugy who cuts across turns 2 and 3 there to try, because he got pushed out wide, but Cavacciuti's held the lead, and it was just Downward going down the inside of Massi Riboli and getting back ahead of the man who he just pipped to the line in race 1. Look at this side-by-side here between Guyon Branton and Isaac Clark, who's again not had a really good start, and Branton trying to go around the outside at turn 8. That's opportunistic, and they make contact. And Isaac Clark is into the wall. He hasn't lost his front wing or anything, but that's a chance. Oh, he has lost his front wing now. So there goes any chance he had of a good points finish as he DNFs and goes back to the garage with contact with Branton on the exit of the corner there. And you can see in the background, look at that, it's like a car park. They are all just trundling through at a snail's pace. But at the front, Cavacciuti in the Pescara held the lead with a very good start, and Josh Downward made sure he was going to get that second place and already building up a 2-second gap at the front. This is on board with Simon Frelick, another brilliant start from him as he gained a position and is right behind Massi Riboli and his own team, and we can ride on board now with the Royal Blue car. And if it was Team Furlich getting a 1-2 in race 1, it could well be Royal Blue get a 1-2 in race 2 here in Bahrain. But another hectic start there, Rodrigo.
Yeah, it was a very problematic start. And a pity what happened with Clark, but looks like he do not have a good start with this car. He still needs to learn how starting really well with this car. And the incident he had with Guillaume, difficult to talk who have the mistake or not.
All side by side, maybe 3 wide here into the first corner. Sorry to cut you off. The 2 Royal Blue cars involved in this contact between Riboli and that was Frelick on the inside, and the 2 Royal Blue cars go for a spin, and there's a collection there. Somebody got collected in all of that. I think it was a Team Furlich car who gets going again, but disaster for Royal Blue, who both had cars in the top 4, and now they've only got 1 in the top. I think, well, actually, no, Downward has dropped way down the order as well, so they don't even have a car in the top 13 anymore. Disaster for them as they make contact, battling away with Massi Riboli, who remains unscathed in second place. He's all got Guyon Branton all behind him, though, and now there's Team Furlich cars up in 5th and 6th. Oh no, was that somebody off in the background there? One of the Team Furlich cars, as I was mentioning, how they'd had a really good start. And Felipe Camamanjan says, thanks very much, and I'm going to overtake you there, Owen Magaji, who's down to 8th place now behind Adam Fletcher's AFP as well. There are cars absolutely everywhere at the moment, just flying off the circuit in all directions. And another 2, I should say, and you can see them here, both overtaking Vela in 14th and 15th, the 2 Royal Blue cars, who have surely thrown away a chance of any good points. We'll have to wait and see. They've certainly got to stop battling each other here and start working together to try and make their way back up the order, but they can't do that until they shake off the Maltese driver behind, who's now overtaken by his teammate Beckhauser down the inside, and Beckhauser fancies getting another car here. Down the inside of Josh Downward he goes, and they make contact, and this is allowing Simon Frelick to get away, and maybe he might have to go on individually without his teammate, because he's stuck battling away these 2 teammates here of Beckhauser and Vela down towards the last corner. But who did you think was at fault for that Royal Blue collision there? Was it Riboli or was it one of those 2?
Difficult also because looks like one have afraid of the other, and then both spun. Both Royal Blue spun basically together. So but it's a pity that happened, because they was making a very good race, especially Josh Down, the very good start. And by the way, that's too aggressive.
We might go 3 wide here, yeah. Justin Meister, is that him? It's Justin Meister, and he almost goes into another spin, more contact. The AFP goes round this time. Justin Meister started 23rd, he's now 7th, miraculously. But he's got to be careful because he's involved in another incident there that looked like he was getting a bit too aggressive down the inside there. I don't know what your outside on it was, but that's how I saw it. Riboli's all over the track, and we actually saw him get overtaken by Guyon Branton into the first corner, and he went a bit wide there at turn 8 and is under pressure now from Rutz right behind, who's power sliding his way through turns 9 and 10, and that won't help his exit at all as smoke begins to billow from his engine once again, as we saw in the first race. He defends the inside line. He's forced Tom Stevens to the outside, and Stevens will probably try and go for a switchback here to get a better run now on the drag race down towards the next corner, but he just sits in behind waiting for a better opportunity. Hectic stuff though.
Yeah, it was a hectic start. Too many contacts. People is contacting too much. They try. I was talking before in the warm-up. People was to be more aggressive in this race too, but this is costing a lot for them. So I think some people at least need to act with more calm. Like for example, like Stevens and Kapamajan, we do not see they in a lot of deals right now for positions, but when they make, they do not be so many aggressive. They try to use the right moment to make a move. About good chance to win the race today. Cavaciucci needs to be careful because Guillaume Branton is a very, very good driver, and probably he will put a lot of heart right now to take this P1.
In his own league, of course, as well, yeah.
I can't tell you that, but for now, Stevens and Kafamagin make a very good job for the top guys that have the very good race one. But by the way, not just Justin Meister, but Mashkuli also P9, as you can see.
Yeah, I was about to mention. Yeah, he came from 26th.
Yeah, a lot of guys from the back just picking the positions, just picking, as we can talk, the dead bodies from the people from behind, and just taking the places. You know, racing is not just about speed; it's about also be smart and use the the right moment to make the right move at the right time.
Yeah, and he doesn't even need any more instances. He's already up into the top 10 and scoring points as it stands. Here's Guyon Branton. I was about to mention him. He's got within a second, just about, of Cavaciuti up ahead as Riboli's engine now begins to smoke, as it did in race 1-2. Actually, no, it's still just Ruth's engine, which is needs to go for a bath to cool down. It doesn't seem to be affecting him too much, though, because he's right behind that Valet car, currently holding up third place. And we'll see if he's able to pull a move very shortly. He's got Tom Stevens behind him, though. He's going to get a double toe from these guys. And just in front, he can see the two race leaders, Cavaciuti and Guyon Branton. So let's see, onto the straight to start lap 5 of 13. Only lap 5. It's been only 4 laps of racing. We've had action and carnage. And I think he'll be close enough for a move here, Ruth, and he is. He goes to the inside line of the Valet car. They're roughly even on the brakes, but he's got the superior line, surely. Can he sweep past? He can, and he takes third place and is onto the rostrum as it stands. And Riboli's got to be careful not to be overtaken by Tom Stevens right behind him here, who was just silently biding his time. He's going to go for an into turn 4. He's going to make his move. He does make his move to the inside line. Turn 4's really, it depends on which line you prefer through the corners to who goes ahead. And it's Tom Stevens in the end who prevails. Riboli loses 2 places in 4 corners.
What a nice move by Tom Stevens. You see, clean, precise, a perfect dive bomb. That's the ideal of what a driver needs to do. And Tom Stevens, in the leagues that he races in, he always shows the good driver he are, and he showed his quality also here in GPU again. Very proud to watch such a driver like Tom Stevens doing races in sim racing, because it's guys like that we love to see. That precise guy, the smart driver, you know, that is quick, but also knows the right moment to make the things. And now he is in P4 and with a good chance to make another podium for him. It's amazing what the job he did for now.
Yeah, here's Louis-Philippe Capamagian in 6th position at the moment. Another guy who we were tipping for good things. Of course, he won race 1, and he's not going to try and overtake Riboli here until the last corner, I think, because he'll wait for that slipstream on the straight, which is so much more powerful. Because if he passes him now, of course, Riboli will do the same to him on the straight, and probably just repass him straight away. So let's see. On the straight, he's got the gap to Justin Meister behind. Doesn't have to worry at all about him. He only has to look in front as Fabian Ruth sets the fastest lap of the race, unsurprisingly, with the slipstream he got. Now here comes Felipe Capamagian. Riboli doesn't put up much of a fight, and we have a battle for the lead here, actually, as Guyon Branton has gone into the lead with a move down the inside of Cavaciuti, as Capamagian did take 5th place. But at the front, we got a really, really gripping battle here. Cavaciuti, interestingly, not really trying to follow Guyon's slipstream there. So Branton has the lead of the race on merit now at around half distance. So we have the change in lead later than we saw in race 1. You think he can hold it, though? That's the big question.
Very difficult, but let's see what will happen. Still some laps to go, and Fabian Ruth is not some distant, and he makes the fastest lap of the race in the last lap. So Fabian Ruth right now is flying in the track and in P3, very near to Guyon and Cavaciuti. And also we need to remember that we still have Tom Stevens, Capamagian, these guys that dominating the race 1. So it's basically a battle of 5 people right now. So of course Cavaciuti will struggle a bit, I believe, compared to the others, but he is a experienced driver, so he can still make a good position in this race too. But I believe Fabian Ruth will overtake him easily on the next straight line.
Yeah, let's see. He's also got he's got Fabian Ruth to watch out, and Stevens and Capamagian, the two protagonists of race 1, are also right next to each other on track, and I'm sure Stevens wants to beat him this time out. Riboli's under pressure. Oh no, mistake. Big mistake from Cavaciuti, and he hits the wall. That's not going to do his suspension any good, and he has to come back on the track and almost swipes out the Valet car. My goodness, that was close. Too close for comfort for me, let alone for that Valet car. And that's really destroyed any chance that Ruth had of overtaking Guyon Branton in the first quarter, because he had no slipstream anymore. So now this battle between Stevens and Felipe Capamagian has become for the podium. Didn't really see what happened. It kind of happened out of nowhere, but I would assume he just lost the back end there, coming out of the corner, just getting the power down too early.
Yeah, it looks like the pressure was too much to Cavaciucci against these guys, but luckily he do not have any issues and big issues. He's still on the top 10. Thank for him.
Just.
But Capamagian make the fastest lap in the last lap of 50. Basically, it's a quality lap hit that he made it. He's starting to fly up. Stevens have a very big problem, and also Brenton. We do not can talk that Brenton is still have this debut, this win, because he have Fabian Ruth, Stevens, Capamagian, all these guys near, and also top 5 now with Justin Meister that is coming, and we know that he's quick also. So the thing is starting to be very open to us, and a lot of options of chances of winning a race. But as I talked before, I expected that the top guys probably have a chance also to win the race too, and this cold happened, as it shows right now.
Yeah, let's see. Here's Omar Gauji recovering through the order. He's got Cavaciucci to pass first, and it shouldn't be too difficult with Cavaciucci having no slipstream. And you can see just in the background of the shots, you could see the battles for the lead and for third place. Because you can see there's you could split them into pairs here with a distance between the cars. You can split them into Brandon and Ruth is pretty close here. He's got half a second. He's not quite as close as Capamagian is though, and I think Capamagian is going to get Stevens here into turn 1. Let's see if Stevens defends the inside line. He got overtaken on the outside, of course, and this time opts not to go for it. Capamagian goes down the inside much later on the break, so he'll turn into the corner in front. Doesn't run too wide, and I think that's Stevens' chance of a podium may be gone. He's got a good exit though. Let's see if he can pass him into turn 4. Capamagian immediately defends to the inside line. And yeah, Stevens is too far back, I think. I can't see him passing. And they're side by side for the lead as well. Ruth is trying to go all the way around the outside. Now he switches back. But really good exit from Guillaume Branton. Very good driving. And holds the lead for the time being. There are 5 more laps to go after this one. So we are over half distance. Yeah, it's gripping stuff. Anyone in this top 4, even Justin Meister, could probably still win this race. Depends how quickly he catches up to these guys, though.
I believe Capamagian have the best chance right now, but I do not believe Stevens not have a chance to make a podium. I still believe he have a good chance. I believe he do not make it difficult to Capamagian because he believes Capamagian have a way dominant car compared to him today, and try to defend the position against Capamagian will do not help him, will harm him, will make also Justin Meister be more near to him. And I think he still believe he can pick the positions from the guys in the front with Brent and Ruiz, that is fighting a lot for the position right now. We can see, and
wide he goes.
Yeah, but still on the track. But we can see that Guillaume is defending a lot the position, and that will make a battle with 3 guys for the place. And maybe that thing can happen and Stevens can pick the win, So. He just pick all the options he have and throw up and see what will happen.
Yeah, here we go. There's a battle for the lead here. Branton defends the inside line. Fabian Run goes to the outside line, forced all the way there. Branton has given himself a really tight line in this first corner, though. He's not going to be able to get the power down very early, and that means Rutt is able to get in ahead of him momentarily. Branton is really trying to fight this one. They are side by side coming down towards the first corner. With Guillaume Branton just ahead, and Capamagian is coming. Sorry, turn 4. And Capamagian is really close behind as well. Branton on the inside, bit of a twitch, and he forced his rival wide there, and that's going to cost him a place to Capamagian, surely. They're side by side coming into sector 2, and it is indeed the Peruvian who prevails. Surely he's not going to win race 1 and now race 2, but he's in that position. He needs to pass one more car, and he'll be back up into the lead. Guillaume Branton, good defending there. I was a bit sceptical into turn 1, but it seemed that Rutz was he saw his chance, he got in front, but then had a tank slapper or something, was just lost the traction, and Guillaume was able to get back in front, and now it's cost him a position to Capamagian. So Fabian will be really kicking himself for that, and he clearly wants to get that position back quickly. And the slipstream train following Guillaume Branton still. My word, this is going to be close though.
What a precise move by Capamagian. It was beauty to see that. And he knows that he have the car. He just need to have patience. Guillaume will try to make a lot. I think for Capamagian now, just try to make Branton be very very stressed for the defense and try to make him make a big mistake, because he will not make an easy mistake just because Capamacho wants. But he knows that he have the control now, and what a race, but what a dominant event by Capamaggio we can talk, because he's dominating basically almost everything.
Yeah, let's see. He's certainly dominating the headlines of this race. He's gone from 10th on the grid, and he's now side by side for the lead, really pushing his rival. Now, yeah, he's going to switch to the left-hand side to get the best possible line. He's trying to go round the outside and do what Fabian Rudd did and couldn't pull off, and he's been able to pull it off. So Louis-Philippe Capamaggio, who won race 1, is into the lead. He's not quite in the clear yet, though. Guyan Branton might well go for his inside, but he's just too far back, and he's locked up, and he's gone wide. That's going to cost him second place. And through goes Tom Stevens. So we have the first and second place that we had half an hour ago in race 1. Remarkable stuff. Guillaume Branton's going to be careful. He's really offline here, and he might well lose the place to Fabio Woods. So these guys now are together again, but instead of fighting for first and second, they're fighting for third and fourth. And Justin Meister has joined the party now as well, and sniffing a potential podium. But I fear that Capamaggio is going to disappear off into the distance now that he's in the lead.
Yeah, I believe also, but we can see that Stevens playing really well. He's waiting, he has the patience, and now the P2, a very deserved P2 by Stevens right now in this race. But we remember that in the last race, Stevens was a bit better than Capamaggio in the end, so maybe Stevens still have some gas to be near to Capamaggio. I don't know, maybe not. All will depend now what Stevens can do it, because he have the situation. He can pick the slipstream from Capamaggio, so he knows that the people behind will be more interested in try to pick his position, try to defend, especially because Branton do not have the pace to defend, to try something against Tom Stevens right now, because he needs to defend against Fabian Ruth.
Yeah, look at this. This might well be 3 wide here. And look at the gap up front. It's 1.2 seconds to the front two. Look at this. It's going to be 3 wide coming into the first corner for the podium spot. And Guyan Branton has decided he does not want any further action than that and backs out of it. And Justin Meister, his teammates, is trying to force his way through into 4th place. Not quite able to, though, as Ruth holds it. But Meister is going to have another go here, and Branton is coming as well. This could be 3 wide instead into turn 4. Down the middle goes Meister, and they make contact, and around goes Fabian Ruth. He's sideways on the track. He gets going again. He's going to be in 7th place now behind Magauji and Riboli. And again, Justin Meister really getting his elbows out. Fairly, I think that one was a little bit too far, just really turning into his rival there. Just saying, okay, well, there was nothing really he could do there. Fabian Ruth, he was kind of just squeezed on the inside and got turned into, and unfortunately it was him who got spun out, not Justin Meister. So 860 Racing have that 3-4, but I fear that Meister might well get a penalty for that.
And by the way, what happened with Capamaggio, because he lost the P1 to Stevens?
Oh, Stevens has gone through, yeah. We missed that. So Capamaggio, with 2 laps to go after this one, has made a mistake, and Tom Stevens has taken the lead. So we have a lead battle after all now. Well spotted.
This will be very interesting. What happened with Capamaggio until he lost the place? Maybe he make a mistake. Maybe Stevens was that quick and make the move. I really want to know what happened. But this is interesting, because we know that Capamaggio is a bit more quicker in the race, and we can see that he, even with the mistake or not, he is still near to Tom Stevens. So how Stevens will defend this place in this, with a few laps to go? We are almost in the end of the race. Is 1 lap? I think it's more 2 laps to end the race too. So how
1 lap after this one. Yeah.
So how Stevens will deal in to defend against a driver like Capamaggio? And by the way, about Fabian Ruth and Guyon, they are too aggressive both. So they too many contact happened before. So I believe something bad was to happen, because if you try to defend the position so much aggressive, one time something will go wrong, and that's what happened. Lucky for Fabian Ruth, he did not lose too much on that.
Yeah, he lost a few places and he's got one back now on Massi Riboli. who's got a 3-second buffer behind. So I think Riboli will finish in 7th place. And Capamaggio is really looking for any gap he can find. To the inside he went there as Stevens went wide, and he looked like he might even go for the overtake, but sensibly backs out of it. So it's going to come down to the final lap here between the two leaders. This is going to be entertaining. We didn't really... A lead battle was really the only thing we were missing from the first race, and now we've got it here, and it's 2/10 across the sector split, even less now, as he's in the slipstream, and he goes for it to the inside. He's gone for it on the penultimate lap. He's caught Tom Stevens napping, and he takes the lead. But was that the right call? Because now Tom Stevens has the slipstream instead. Capamaggio defends the inside line in towards the last corner. The ground effect car on the inside, the team furniture car on the outside. And Stevens surely is just going to wait for that slipstream towards the first corner, and he is. Capamaggio goes to the inside. There's really no point moving there because Stevens is too close. He's going to get a slipstream. He decides to go to the outside line. There was space on the inside for him there. They've got the buffer. This is the lead battle now, coming down towards the first corner on the final lap of the race. Stevens with slightly more speed. Capamaggio's later on the brakes, and they make contact twice there. As Stevens tried to turn into the corner, Capamaggio just blocked it, closed the door. No way through for him there, and he's weaving around all over the place, trying to break the toe. This is one of Stevens' last overtake opportunities, and again, chooses the outside line instead of the inside line. He's trying to go all the way around the outside of him in turn 4. Not able to do it and forced off the track by the Peruvian. He's running out of opportunities here. A big slide and the entry of that corner, that's going to cost him time. That offline will cost him time. Surely he hasn't got an opportunity anymore. Locks up again. 3 corners in a row where he's had some sort of problem offline, and I think Capamaggio might have this, you know. Why didn't he go to the inside? He just went to the outside on both occasions, and both times just got pushed off by his rival.
Was a terrible move, but as we can see, Tom Stevens still do not give up. He still believe he can make something. He's still following Capamaggio. So let's see how Stevens can make the miracle happen. Now this race is still not ended. I can tell you that.
3 corners to go, 2 now, and he's 5/10 behind. He's half a second behind. It would need an almighty lunge into the last corner if he's going to do this. Capamaggio knows it, defends the inside line, weaving around as excessively as he can, without, of course, breaching the rules. He's driven superbly today, dominated race 1, started 10th. He took his time, hasn't really produced any standout overtakes, but he's made all of them count. And as he comes to the line, Luis Felipe Capamaggio is going to make it 2 race wins out of 2. As he crosses the line in P1, he takes the checkered flag and wins for the 2nd time in the space of an hour here in Bahrain. What a finale that was between Felipe Capamaggio and Stevens, who are surely now the 2 title protagonists for the upcoming season. Justin Meister, 23rd on the grid, is going to finish in 3rd place. As we're looking at Darwin and Dessou, it's going to be a drag race to the line. I think Darwin's going to get it. And he does take that position. Maybe he got no front wing on the Valet car. That'll be why he was struggling. But yeah, Stevens and Capamaggio, 2nd and 1st in both races respectively. Miles clear of anyone else in the championship. Are they the 2 title protagonists that have come about as a result of this race? Maybe, but it's 86E Racing who rounded out 3rd and 4th place, with Justin Meister from 23rd to 3rd, and Guillaume Bratton will be disappointed, having led a lot of that race, to end up down in 4th. Owen McGaugy, a strong recovery drive after a few incidents, back into 5th. Fabian Rutt will be disappointed with the contact with Meister. That will go to the stewards for sure, that bit of contact. And he ends up in 6th. Massi Riboli, 7th place. 8th and 9th, the 2 Pescaras. Eros Mashuli coming from the very back of the grid, 26th. Finishing in 8th place. Stefano Cavaciuti finished 9th, and Sergio Fletcher in the AFP rounded out the top 10. What a day of racing we had in Bahrain.
Yeah, we can talk for now that this season, for now, of course, a lot of things can change, but for now we can talk that you'll be the rivalry for Capamaggio against Tom Stevens. Two good drivers that shows today a lot of dominance. Let's see if they can continue that for the next rounds. But for now, I can talk to you that Capamaggio have the better performance right now. He have the better car. I think in terms of driving quick, both are similar, but looks like ground effect make a better job in the car. They have a bit of a better balance for the race, but was very, very good what we see today. Of course, some things that happen could be avoided. I hope for the next event, some people start to think more when they try to make some moves, but it's normal these things to happen. It's a championship with similar cars. The cars is not that big, so the it's more easy to we see more battles for positions. So it's also is a thing that will be normal. But for a start of the season was a a very good start, and we see that ground effect and team Frankfurt for now is dominated, and very good result by Justin Meister. As I talk, I expect that he was to make points in the race too, but I do not expect that he was to make a podium, a top three. That was very amazing, impressive by him.
Superbly impressive, yeah. Really, really good drive from Meister. But he was very aggressive, though. His overtakes, he really leaving no space for his rivals, kind of turning into them, and that resulted in Ruth spinning out. And yeah, that will go to the stewards. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if Meister does get a penalty for that. But yeah, some cracking racing today.
And by the way, about Capamagian, what happened with him to he lose the position? As I see, it was a screen freeze. So he have a screen freeze, unfortunately. But luckily, that do not harm this race and the race of the others, because with experience, I can talk to you. I have some screen freeze problems in the past, and that can cost
me. Terrible, yeah.
Yeah,
really bad.
That cost me some results in the past, and also results for the others, because when you go back, you can basically destroy the race for others. So lucky for Capamagian.
Here's how Capamagian took the lead before his screen freeze again around the outside of Guyon Brunton, as he did to Tom Stevens in race 1, around the outside at the first corner and getting through. And here was Ruth, who really had a very good view of this. Then wide went Guyon Brunton, and Stevens slipped through into second place. And on the next lap is where the incident with Justin Meister happened. And you could see in the delta in the bottom right, Meister had caught right up to these guys, only 4 tenths behind as they came across the split. And these guys were really going for it on the next lap. And then we had that three-way fight between Branton, Ruth, and Meister. And of course, it unfortunately ended in tears for one of them.
Yeah, by the way, we have interviews, and looks like one of the drivers want to talk is Tom Stevens. So let's put Tom Stevens right here.
Yeah, you can do the interviews if you want. Yeah, you can do it.
Oh, hello, Tom Stevens. Good job for the pole position today. The 2 second places you did, and talk to us, Tom Stevens. How is driving this specific car, this status Formula 3, and how was the race for you? That was everything.
Yeah, thanks, Rodrigo. So yeah, the car, it's quite interesting to get used to, but once you get used to it, it's pretty good to drive. Yeah, the races, obviously I got pole position, and I was actually surprised with myself. I was very happy. That's my first ever pole position on R Factor 2, so yeah, I was really happy with that. And got to thank Owen for the tow on that as well. Race 1. Unfortunately, I didn't really get the start I wanted, and there was a bit of ding-donging going on at the start. Then Louis got past, and then I just never really could catch him. We were basically dead even on pace, and right until the end. But then race 2, yeah, I didn't really know what to expect, because there was a lot of cars in front of me this time. I just tried to avoid the carnage in the opening stages, and there was a few cars flying off at one point. And then I was just made up into P2. And then I thought I lagged out, because Louis, he disappeared on my screen. And I saw someone left the session in the bottom corner. So I was like, wait, am I out of this session? But then I see that he's behind me and he had a screen freeze. And we had a good battle to the end, very hard, clean racing. And GG on that one.
Yeah, and as we can see, we start a very good rivalry between you and Capamagian, what we see today. Do you expect this be the season at all, or is still too early to talk that? What is your opinion about it?
It is a short season, but I'll just take it one round at a time. There is a chance I won't even be able to make the final one, so I just enjoy each round as it comes.
Okay, thank you, Tom Stevens, for being part of this interview. And good luck for you for this short season, but a very exciting season in GPU.
Yes, thank you.
So now let's talk with the guy that win the two races, the driver from Peru, Luis Felipe Capamadian. Hello, Luis Felipe. How was the event for you? How what do you think about this specific car that you raced today? Tell us everything about this event.
Hello, Rodrigo. Yes, it was a tough race. I didn't expect winning both races, to be honest. But first of all, let me thank Jose Ignacio from Ground Effect. He invited me to race this series. I'm very grateful for that. So yes, I'm pretty happy winning the both races. The quali was super intense. Almost a lot of drivers on the same second. And the first race, where the start was quite quite rough, hitting all over the place, but we went okay. And I make a 1 second gap, and I just managed to stay there, so he sorry he couldn't slipstream me. And on race two, I knew they had much more top speed than me, and well, I just waited for the other guys that I knew that always are going to be crashes, and then we were P7, I think. Then we were P3, if I'm not wrong. And well, I finished in passing Thomas, I guess he was, that were fighting the first place because he finished second. And then I saw the leaders, they were fighting. They fight too hard, and or I don't know how to say it in English, but aproveché.
Yeah, you pick the good decision.
Yes, and I could pass to second place, and then went to the outside and for the first place, and just of a sudden, at almost 2-3 laps to go, my PC started freezing, and somehow the PC froze, and I thought the server was down, and then I appeared second, and I said, "What? No, it can be. I will fight for the first position." And well, I pushed hard as hell, and well, it's good.
But especially about this screen freeze that happened, how was your head that time when that happened? Because probably basically this destroy all the this destroy a bit your thinking right at that time, because you are making the right things, and then a issue like that happened. How was how was you control yourself to avoid this issue and then make the win happen?
Well, first I got a bit of luck on the first freeze that put me on second place because it was almost on the straight, just finishing a turn. So I when the PC frozen, I said "Ooh," and I put the steering wheel right, like uh, how do I say it, without turning in the middle centering, and I waited, and then it just all appeared, and he was in front of me. And then after the finish race to enter the pits, the finish lap, I got like 4 or 5 freezes. So I'm very grateful that the freezes were after the race, not before.
Yeah, but hope you see what is the problem that happened and avoid that for the next rounds, because as we see you are leading the championship right now, and hope this do not harm your championship. Thank you for being part of the interviews with Philippe, and good luck in the GPU season.
Thanks a lot. And yes, it's the first time this happens to me, and I will check my PC what's going on. Thanks for you, and thanks Guyon for the nice event.
Yeah, thank you. And by the way, James, what is the next event for GPU? How you have to race for the next rounds? What track will be?
So in 2 weeks' time, next week there's nothing, but in 2 weeks' time we are at the Dubai Autodrome for race 2 of, well, event 2 and 2 more races to follow. Then it's another 2-week break before we head over to the Korea International Circuit, which Formula 1 has also raced at. That's going to be a long lap, by the way. That will probably be over 2 minutes long each lap. And then another long track, Yas Marina, will be the last race of the season in just over a month's time at the end of June.
Yeah, Dubai will be a very interesting track. As we see that Bahrain was already that, Dubai will be very interesting, and such a track like Korea that is big, very good Asian season that we can see as we see GPU choosing very interesting tracks, and and also Dubai have a lot of straight lines, so it'd be very interesting because today we see that Bahrain have a lot of moves for places. In Dubai probably will happen a lot also, especially because of the some straight line that they have in that track.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's also, I think it's quite an underrated track, to be honest. I don't think it's as bad as like Yas Marina or something, which is often compared to. I think it's a good track.
Yeah, but well, we will see if the race will be exciting or not. Just in day 31, just in 2 weeks. So for now, let's just waiting in your houses and see how the guys will be prepared for the next rounds. I believe the people now is more be used with the car, know what they need to do it, what they need to prepare for the next races. So probably the races will be way more difficult for some drivers. I still believe that Kapamajan, Stevens, these guys will still be top guys, but maybe we'll still to see new people starting to have a chance to win the races and starting to show that there exists more people that could fighting for the P1.
Yeah, I hope so. But yeah, until then, it's just more speculation, more preparation for that race in Dubai. And we look forward to seeing you there. So thanks for tuning in today. And unless Rodrigo has any last words, we will head off.
No less Ross.
All right. Yeah, so thanks to Christian on the cameras as well. Needs his little bit of credit for a great show, putting it on. And we'll see you in 2 weeks' time. Good night.